Here's a song about Halloween. I wrote it. It's mine. It's about Halloween. It was a Halloween night. The goblins and the spooks were well inside. I took a look down an empty street. Who do you suppose that I'd meet but a big red man with fiery eyes and a deep voice telling me about a big surprise? I said, what do you want with me? He said, I just want some company. A big red man with an apple in his hand. When I knew right away just who he was, I could tell by his tail and his bright red fuzz. You don't fool me, I know who you are. He said, stick with me, baby, I'll make you a star. Big red man with a contract in his hand. Well, I know that it's true, I love rock and roll, but there's nothing you can do, devil, to make me sell my soul. He said, don't make such a hasty decision, 'cause right now you're in no position. No position, no position. With his hand on my shoulder, my heart in my throat, he tried to loosen me up with a joke. He said, now ain't it funny that we should be on this Halloween night on an empty street? That ain't funny. Big red man, fire in his hand. I said, get on back, devil, I don't want your help, 'cause I'm gonna make it all by myself. I started in singing Amazing Grace. I put that old devil back in his place, and when I looked down the street again, all was left was some ashes and a melted pen. No more big red man, no more contract in his hand. And if you see this man on Halloween night, you better take your cue and exit stage right. What is a mummy's favorite kind of music? Rap music! Did you know the word Halloween is a contemporary version of the phrase All Hallows Eve, or the evening before the holy or hallowed day? In many cultures and religions, November 1st is known as All Saints or All Souls Day. In Hispanic cultures, it's known as Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. This day is a celebration of the life and memory of our ancestors, those souls who have passed from this world into the next. On October 31st, it is thought that the veil between the living and the dead is thin and ghostly spirits walk the earth. If you see my grandma, tell her I said hello. In the days of jolly old England ruled King Henry VIII, he of the 6 wives. The most famous among them was named Anne Boleyn. Queen Anne ruled not long, for Henry tired of her rather quickly. And when he did, rather than just get rid of her, he had her head chopped off. But Anne had the last laugh. For, with her head tucked neatly under her arm, she haunted King Henry all the rest of his days. In the town of London, large as life, the ghost of Anne Boleyn walks, they declare. Anne Boleyn was once King Henry's wife, until he made the headsman bob her hair. Oh yes, he did her wrong long years ago, and she comes up at night to tell him so, with her head tucked underneath her arm. She walks the bloody tower, with her head tucked underneath her arm, at the midnight hour. She's off to hunt King Henry, she means to tell him what for. Gadzooks, she's gonna tell him off for having spilled her gore. And just in case the headsman wants to give her an encore, she has her head tucked underneath her arm. With her head tucked underneath her arm, she walks the bloody tower, with her head tucked underneath her arm, at the midnight hour. Along the drafty corridors for miles and miles she goes. She often catches cold, poor thing, it's cold there when it blows. And it's awkward for the queen to have to blow her nose. Achoo, gesundheit. With her head tucked underneath her arm. With her head tucked underneath her arm, she walks the bloody tower, with her head tucked underneath her arm, at the midnight hour. One day she finds King Henry, he was at the castle bar. He said, "Are you Jane Seymour, Anne Boleyn, or Catherine Parr? How the sweet Saint Mary Ann do I know who you are? With your head tucked underneath your arm." With her head tucked underneath her arm, she walks the bloody tower, with her head tucked underneath her arm, at the midnight hour. What did the werewolf eat after he had his teeth cleaned? The dentist. Did you know jack-o'-lanterns used to be just that? Lanterns. At this time of year, the sun sets earlier and earlier, and the nights grow longer and darker. The ancient ones used to use fire to illuminate the night, to help guide them through the gloomy and scary world. They made lanterns by hollowing out a turnip and placing a tallowed candle within. Centuries later, we hollow out pumpkins and carve comical or scary faces into them. A candle or a light is set inside the pumpkin, and its glowing face illuminates Halloween night. Do I smell pumpkin pie? We take a walk into a forest, a tuggly wood, where the Jabberwocky is afoot. slithy toes did gyre and gimble in the way of mimsy, where the burrow grows and the marmoraths outgrave. Beware the jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch, beware the jub, bird and shun, the frumious bandersnatch. He took his vorpal, sword in hand, long time his manxome foe he sought. So rested he by a tum-tum tree, and he stood a while in thought. And as a newfish thought he stood, the Jabberwock, with eyes of flame, came whiffling to the toobly wood, burbled as it came, burble, burble, burble. One, two, and through his vorpal blade went snicker-snack M&M's baby root Twix. He left it dead, and with its head went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy, frabjous day, calloo, calais. He chortled in his joint. Why didn't Dracula have any friends? He was a pain in the neck. Did you know, dressing up as goblins and ghoulies and kelpies and ghosts and witches started hundreds of years ago. Back then, people were afraid that if they went out on Halloween night, they would meet a ghost or spirit. And everyone knows that ghosts and spirits tend to be a bit, well, mischievous. So before leaving their home, they would wear a mask or put on a scary costume in the hope that any spirits roaming the earth on Halloween night would mistake them for one of their own and leave that living person alone. Makes you want to kind of rethink that princess costume, doesn't it? Lately, there's been something weird going on in my room. I wonder what it could be. There's monsters in my room. They're trying to scare me. Together you and I can discover what kind of monsters they be. There's something in my room, it's trying to scare me. It snuffles and growls like a snarling hound. I wonder what it could be. Werewolf, werewolf, werewolf. There's something in my room, it's trying to scare me. It cries and moans and flies and floats. I wonder what it could be. Of course, a ghost. There's something in my room, it's trying to scare me. It's warty and green and smelly and mean, I wonder what it could be. Of course, it's an ogre. No wonder it smells so bad in here. There's something in my room, it's trying to scare me. Bloody fangs, all the fright comes out only at night. I wonder what it could be. Count Dracula, I want to suck your blood. Ah, 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 blah, blah, blah. There's someone in my room. They love me very much. They tuck me in and remind me there is nothing to be scared of. Keep that nightlight burning. Why couldn't the skeleton cross the road? He didn't have the guts. Did you know the tradition of trick-or-treat started many centuries ago? It began as an offering to the spirits of Halloween. Each home would put out food and drink to calm the mischievous spirits. I mean, it's hard to be scary on a full stomach. Eventually, the tradition became more like what we know today. Children going from house to house, dressed as ghosts and goblins and fairies and superheroes, demanding food or money, and in return, there would be no tricks. They would leave you and your home safe and sound. I hear the spirits are just dying for a candy bar. Here's a sweet lullaby we used to sing to the children back in the old country. At Halloween there's ghosts and ghouls, they snarl and scream and moan and drool. Some monsters with their heads cut off, witches and goblins on brooms aloft. Jack-o'-lanterns, watch them go, shadows follow you to and fro. Scarecrows stand upon their perch, spiders crawl and creep and lurch. The worms crawl in, the worms crawl out, they eat your brains and come out your snout. They eat your eyes, they eat your nose, they eat the jelly between your toes. There's skeletons and mummies wrapped tight, plenty of things that go bump in the night. They walk the streets on Halloween, they try their best to make you scream. Ah! On Halloween, it's quite a treat to ask for candy that's yummy and sweet. The trick is not to stay out late, 'cause monsters are hungry and you taste great. Now, go to bed. You know the problem with twin witches? You never know which witch is which. What do you call a skeleton in a closet? The 1947 world champion of hide and seek.